Hey everyone, it's Dr. Griff again. I wanted to come to you today to talk about how I went on my self-publishing journey. We've self-published 2 books. I say we because my husband is the author of The Princess Crochet and the Kingdom of Mirrors, and I illustrated it. But with the Bubble Pop 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 with Chrissy, I'm both the author and the illustrator. But both of them we published ourselves, and I wanted to talk about how we went about doing these. We didn't use a self-publishing company. Um, we had limited funds. Like I had said in a previous video, both my income and my husband's income had decreased significantly due to the pandemic. So we didn't have but so many funds available. We were able to borrow some money from family to publish the books. So I wanted to talk about, step by step, how did we get from the concept to the printer. So first of all, my husband came up with the story for this one. I came up with poems, and this is based on one of those poems. And both the poem and the story had to be copyrighted. So we went on the U.S. Copyright Office's website, got those copyrighted, and then as I illustrated, like these are some of my illustrations, I use watercolor, some poster paints, markers, I sketch. Then I had to get these pictures copyrighted from both books. We did 10 at a time, and I believe it was $80 or $87 for 10 pictures. And for this book, for the Bubble Pop 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 with Chrissy, because I had picture symbols, and the picture symbols, I had those copyrighted before I finished the pictures in the book. So they were already copyrighted. I had about 10 pictures for this one. I sent those in. I sent in 10 more picture symbols and some of the pictures, and then the rest of the pictures. To make 10, I used some of the clip arts that I use in the therapy materials that I sell on Teachers Pay Teachers. After both of them were copyrighted, we had the stories copyrighted, and then we copyrighted the pictures. Then I went ahead and I did the editing myself. I used Microsoft Publisher. I didn't want to use another type of software because I was already paying for the Microsoft suite. It's what I use in my independent contractor business. So I went ahead and continued to use that. I said, I'm going to use what I have to keep from incurring more costs. Some people hire an editor, and that's fine. We couldn't afford that. I'm trying to do everything myself. So I did the typesetting, and I had to look up the bleed, the margins, and when I sent it to the printer, there were some things I had to tweak, but I was able to, take the format that was on the computer, turn it into a PDF, and I had that, but then I wanted to have an ISBN number, and I wanted an ISBN number in case we want to sell these in stores in the future, or through Amazon, hard copies through Amazon. You can self-publish for free on Amazon, and that's for an ebook, and that's what I did for my poetry book, From the Heart of a Teenage Poet, and that is on, I sell that on Amazon. But for these, I wanted hard copies. And for my next books, I want hard copies as well. And maybe ebooks later on down the line, but we had to get ESBN numbers and scans because we wanted to make it so that these could also be sold in stores and some Christian bookstores because this is a biblically based book, and churches have bookstores, so that's what we wanted to do. Now the ISBN numbers, we got those from Boker. You can get them cheaper than what we paid, but you have to get those books printed by a certain company. And I wanted to be listed as the publisher. For some people it doesn't matter, but for me it did. So for me to be listed as the publisher, for me to own whatever rights and not be pigeonholed into, oh, we can only go to one printer or another printer. I wanted that type of freedom. As far as finding a printer, oh gosh, I think I looked up a lot of them. You have to find what you want. We didn't want a minimum of 500. We didn't want a minimum of 1,000. I wanted a minimum of 20 because that's what we could afford to get printed. And so we found a printer that was able to do that. The same printer has printed both books. Went back because I like the quality. For children's books, a glossy cover is best. You see the colors are nice and vibrant on the inside as well. And that was my self-publishing journey, and I'm glad that I went on it. I know I went on it for a reason. Hopefully in the future I can help other authors, to go through this process. It was a long process because we wanted to take our time. I wanted to do my research. I wanted to do it right, but I wanted to do it for an amount of money that we could afford. Not everybody can go through the same journey and have $5,000 available or $1,000 available, especially while you're raising children and you're dealing with, lowered income. So hopefully this has helped someone. Don't forget to go to www.kingdombookkids.com to buy either book or purchase them in a bundle. And don't forget my book of poems, From the Heart of a Teenage Poet, is on sale on Amazon as well. Thank you all so much for listening. See you all next time.